Welcome back, college softball fans. College Softball Central here. I am joined today with a special guest, Samantha Ricketts, coach at Mississippi State. We're very happy to have her. I'm joined by my partner here, Dan Faulkner. How's it going, Dan?
Doing good. How are you doing, Mark?
Another beautiful day. We're so happy to have you, Coach Ricketts. Let's just get into this. We got some fun stuff because we're right around the corner. February 10th is so close. What is the toughest part about being done with fall ball and getting into the season and starting? We're right there. How tough is this last couple weeks?
Oh gosh, it always feels like it's so far away. It's so far away. And then probably about this week, it was, where did the time go? There's so much still left to do. And probably more so on the administrative side and just making sure that everything's ready, travel, all the technology, all the little details, uniforms, the little things to make sure that the girls especially can focus on the game and just focus on competition out there. But it's always an exciting time. I think it doesn't matter how many years you get to be a part of it and get to start a new season. Every year is different and exciting. And it's a new team. It's a new vibe every year. And they're excited. I think they're tired of facing our own pitchers. And, it's just constantly like, okay, can I see somebody else throw to me? And just ready to see another team across the field from us and have a chance to go compete.
Yeah, fans don't really realize how much goes into pre-work before this first week of game starts, like how much stuff is on the administrative side, getting them all ready with their classes and then tutors and getting all the uniforms and everything set up. There's a lot to do. So I'm sure that once that all gets set aside and then it starts kicking in and, all right, we're ready for games. We got our uniforms. We got everything set up. We're ready to go. So, yeah, we know where we're at there on that one.
Yeah, once it's go time, I think we've got this Sunday off, and that's probably the last real off day we talked about in the office, especially the coaches will have for a while, because the girls get an off day once a week. But we're up here scouting and working on the next week ahead, and even their off day, they're in class, they're in treatment, they're taking care of everything they need to do of their bodies. So it is a grind. It's a long season. It's probably one of the longest ones in college athletics. We play 56 regular season games. And, that could take a toll on them, and they got to be in good shape and ready to go mentally, physically. But I think the excitement that comes with that and getting to play at such a high level is what really makes it worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, tell me, what brought you to Mississippi State? Why State? Like, you and I both know Starkville's very special, but also, what's your favorite part?
Oh, gosh. When I came to Starkville, this is now my 9th year in Starkville. And originally when I came in, I never expected that I would be here this long. Came in as an assistant for the 2014-2015 series. And really, I was looking to challenge myself to go, it was my first opportunity to coach in the Power 5, and, wanted to go somewhere where I could make a difference and just really see what I was made of against the best of the best. And it doesn't get much better than the SEC in terms of college softball. So had the opportunity to come down here, and, I thought maybe after a couple years, our offenses had improved. The numbers were doing what I wanted them to do, that I would have to leave and go to probably a mid-major to get my first head coaching job. And that was, kind of the plan. And I think never could have imagined that my first head coaching job would be at Mississippi State and in the SEC. So very blessed for that reason. Just greater than I could have imagined, but I think it all worked out the way it was supposed to when I had the opportunity, to interview and to be able to stay here for as long as I have. And I really loved every minute of it. I think Starkville, the state of Mississippi State, it all really kind of meshes well with, the way I grew up and the way that my career has kind of gone. It's a very blue collar town and state, and it's people that have worked hard. And I think when you think of Mississippi State athletics, you think of kind of a chip on the shoulder, people overlooking, counting you out, and there's story after story of really all of the teams that have been successful throughout, our athletics history. And that's how I was successful in my career too, and was counted out many times along the way. Had one Division I offer out of high school. And then, by the grace of God, I ended up at Oklahoma really a month before school started my freshman year. So just went in, not recruited, up with a bunch of 5-stars, and went out there just to prove that I belonged. And that's kind of been the same journey, I think, through my coaching career as it was my playing career. So it's really been a good fit for me, I think, in terms of the university, the town, and it definitely is the smallest town I've ever lived in. I grew up in Northern California in San Jose. It's a city of 1 million people, but it's been really enjoyable. I think one thing we talk about a lot, especially when we're talking to kids coming in who haven't been here, is the smaller your town, the bigger your circle. And that's just so true in Starkville. The university relies on the town to be successful, and vice versa. The town needs the university. They need the students. They need the business. And there's just so many local businesses and community members, people that really are just intertwined. That makes it fun. You can't really go anywhere, whether you're a coach or a player in town, and not run into somebody or be recognized. And you might be at the gas station or the grocery store. Hey, Coach Ricketts has a great game today, or Mia Davidson, we saw your home run. And that's what makes it special. You don't get that everywhere. We are the big show in town in terms of sports. There's no professional team really, and in the state. And that's something that makes it exciting. And the women's athletics get that notoriety too. You look at what women's basketball did a few years back, and you see the excitement for the women's teams as much as the men's, which is really cool.
Yeah, it just seems like a nice close-knit community where everybody is involved and they really want to jump into everything that's going on. It's really great to see them support the athletics and the athletes and you coaches as well. Speaking of support, we know that you had some construction going on at News Park. How's that going? How's the additions going? How does that help your program moving forward also?
Yes, it's going, but it's been great. I think we've been very, very lucky with the weather we have had last semester and even this month. I think it's probably going to be we won't be in the building until the summer. So about a full year project, but well worth it. And, we kind of joke that we're happy to be homeless this year in terms of not having batting cages or really any kind of indoor space. But everybody's been great about working with us. We've been able to kind of move around class schedules to ensure that we're not getting in anyone's way when we do need an indoor space. Baseball has shared the Palmero Center with us now going on 2 semesters. We shared it all fall, and we're back in there again a little bit this month as well. So really grateful to have, 1, that facility available to us, and 2, their willingness to let us get in there as much as we need to. But the building is going to be unbelievable, and it's really being done well. Initially, there were some talks of a structure that was half the size, half the cost, built on the other side of the field, down the first base line. And there were enough people on our executive staff in the department that said, let's do this right. Let's build something that we're going to be proud of. Let's take care of those young women and make sure that this isn't a building we're going to have to go back and fix in the next 2 to 3 years. So really grateful for that. And it's going to have everything possible that the student athletes will ever need. It's strictly a student athlete space. There's not even a coach's locker room in there. I don't know what we're going to do. We'll figure that out, but it's all about the girls right now. It'll be brand new batting cages, 5 cages in there, 2 indoor pitching lanes to go with 3 outdoor pitching lanes. We'll have garage doors, kind of an indoor outdoor space there. Going to be all the tech we would need. I think there's 6 TVs just in that space alone to run our tech to. And then you'll get into the clubhouse where we'll have a locker room, bathrooms, showers, team lounge, team film room, team training room, a kitchen, an equipment room, a mud room, just anything they would need. They should be able to come there and get in that one facility for them. And number 1, I think it's going to be great for the athlete to be able to provide for them, but 2, for our recruiting and to bring in future recruits, let them walk through there and see, 1, they're going to be provided for, but 2, the investment into this program through the administration and through our fans, through our boosters, and through the university. And that's, I think, something that really is going to help us continue to push forward in that recruiting process.
Yeah, when you have that all set up and then it's like a one-stop shop, it kind of keeps the athletes on the field all the time. Like they want to be there. They want to be in their locker room. They want to be in their space, especially when it's all built up for them. So I'm sure that's going to help tremendous. That's just outstanding to have that all go in the right direction for you there, Coach.
Yes, we're excited. We're ready to get in there, but we understand that takes a little time.
Now, with the team this year, right? We all know you got stars like Chloe Malulu, Aspen Wesley coming back, but who's a player that we here at College Softball Central or any of the other big media outlets that we're just not paying attention to, we're not we're not giving enough kudos to? Like, who's going to be that big player that is going to break out this season?
I think kind of one that seems to be overlooked, who's been solid for us for the last couple years, has been Paige Cook. She's played third for us the last 2 seasons, played second base a little bit early on, but she's just been such a consistent hitter. I mean, she does a great job. She hits for power. She can run. She can kind of play all over the field. I think we might see her mixing up positions on defense this year, but I think she gets overlooked a little bit offensively for what she provides for our team. And she was, I think she was all freshman team maybe, or she's had a couple, SEC honors as well, where people have kind of recognized that. I'd say her, and then I think Madison Kennedy might be one to have a little bit of a breakout year offensively. She's been solid for us defensively since she got to campus 4 years ago now. I guess it's hard. The COVID year, they're all messed up with them. But she's a senior in the classroom. She's got one more season of eligibility, but she's been the starting shortstop ever since she got here. Just her maturity and just her decision-making have just been well beyond her years. She's really a leader for us on defense, and has really worked hard every year to improve her offense. And I think we're going to see a little bit more out of her, especially power numbers this season, to go along with what she does on defense.
All right. Players to look out for, people. Take note, find out. All right, Coach. Stepping away from the game a little bit, favorite pre and post game meals. I know these are big, especially with athletes, and you guys are all over the place, especially during SEC play. What pre and post game meals do we look for?
Oh gosh, anything that's not a sandwich. You get so far into season and you're so tired of sandwiches. But we kind of switched up the way we do pregame meals and even like video and everything. We've gone away from post-game meetings. So typically most teams, and we did it too for a long time, we would, after the game would finish, we'd go inside, we'd sit down, we'd talk for a while, kind of covering our bases. And we just kind of felt that, one, we weren't getting as much out of it as we thought. I think it's hard for the girls to really check back in. And 2, it could also have been, there's a lot of emotions going on after the game, whether they be positive or negative, depending on maybe how the game went, how people played. So one thing we switched up is we've gone away from that post-game meeting. We finish up. All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow. We bring them in and we do provide a post-game meal while we watch some film. And that's when we kind of circle back once everybody's had kind of the night to think about it. And hey, this is what we want to talk about. We're going to learn from this. And here's kind of the plan moving forward for later that day. One, I like it. It kind of ensures, one, that they're eating breakfast, that they're getting up, and that we're being a little bit more focused. And 2, it just gives us a chance to really kind of be more professional in the moment. So now they get to eat a little bit more too, which they like. You provide food and they'll be there. But we've done everything from the breakfast club to Starkville Cafe for breakfast. We've had it catered. They seem to really like Nutri-Groove in town. That's a popular one for the girls. You go up and down our team. They've kind of been everywhere. But those are the breakfast ones we probably do the most often during season. That's not a sandwich, not something that they have to eat while we're on the bus or anything else.
Yeah. So basically anything not grab and go is what we're looking for.
Basically, by the time you get to May, you're like, please just give me anything else.
Outstanding.
And we know about how superstitious on diamond sports everyone is. So what are some important rituals that you followed as a coach or as a player through your career?
Oh gosh. Yeah. You always want to say, I say, oh, I'm not superstitious. I'm not. But when it comes down to it and you're on a winning streak and things are going good or they're going bad, you definitely find things and you'll try anything to, continue the streak or break it, whichever it may be. There's, I think, a lot of little ones. You've got girls that have to, tie their shoe a certain way. It's something with a jersey. I like to throw my lineup card at my SID when we're winning and then make him see how far I can throw it, and he'll have to go chase that down. But just little things, I think, one, to kind of keep things light. And then we had one going on for a while when we went on a 8-game SEC win streak. It had to do with water guns in the dugout, and they were just hidden all over, and we just kept winning, and you kept getting scored with the water guns. But I think I like it because it kind of goes hand in hand with softball. The girls like to be loose. They like to have fun in any way that you can find something that works and you want to continue on with it. is helpful. And then also it's good when you need to break a streak. We've also had our losing streaks, and we're going to do something different. We're going to practice completely different and create a new superstition that's going to work. I think it's definitely kind of a mental game with that and with the coaching side of it, but we've done it all. We've had some who are pretty superstitious and some who really don't believe in it at all. I'd probably fall right in the middle.
That's fair. That's fair. I know that for me, back when I was coaching, I had to use the same pen to write my lineup every single game. So I had the same Pilot G2, and like people are like, what happens if it runs out of ink? I'm like, I replaced the ink. I use the same pen. So
It's the same.
I'm not
if
swapping
we're on
it.
a win streak and I can't find my pencil, we're in a bad place. But
Exactly. You just
they're all the
like,
same.
yeah.
But if I have to, I'm like, listen, purple's not working. I need to find the pink one. Where'd it go?
Yes. So last year was super special. You got to host a super regional. What did it mean for you guys as a team? What did it mean for the community and the campus? I mean, it seemed just electric.
Yes. Gosh, it was so much fun last year. And I think for us as a coaching staff, that's been the goal. That was been the plan. We thought, we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when. Were we going to be able to do that last year with the senior class that we had? Or was it going to take a couple more years of getting our recruits in? So I think we kind of had an idea that we were going to reach that platform, but just the timing of it. And I'm so glad it happened last year with seniors like Mia Davidson, her sister Montana, Annie Willis, athletes who'd been a part of the program for 3, 4, or 5 years and who chose Mississippi State for that reason, for that kind of promise and that dream. Like, they wanted to leave Mississippi State softball better than they found it. And they wanted to elevate us and leave their mark on a program. And I think they absolutely accomplished that. And when you look back at last season, those are the names you're going to remember. So really proud of them for that feat. And then just kind of a cherry on top of it, getting to host the super regional. And for us, that was, definitely a little bit of a surprise. I think for everyone, I know we scrambled a little bit on our end to, get it up and running. Once we found out, it was a short turnaround for our administration. Luckily, they've got a lot of experience hosting, postseason baseball. So they were able to, they're like, we got this, we know what we're doing, we'll be fine. I think the biggest kind of hiccup we had was tickets, because we don't currently sell tickets. And all of a sudden now you're selling 2,000 postseason softball tickets. That one was new for us, but it was a good problem to have. And hopefully that can lead to future conversations about selling tickets for softball. But just to see the interest, to see the support, to see 2,200 people show up on a Friday afternoon for women's softball in Starkville and in Mississippi was really cool. It's something I think our team appreciates, because we've seen early in the season when it's cold and there's 14 people in the stands, and to go from that in February to what we saw in May was just really special. And, I think it's just a testament, I think, to the community, to the fans, that many people in town and drove into town. And, there are people coming from all over that just did not want to miss those games for us. And we love that support. We try throughout the year to go up into the stands to thank people, to, just make sure that we're present with our fans, because we know it's a process to continue to grow that fan base. And, I think we all kind of look to baseball, and the success they've had. And when you're sitting in Duty Noble and you're looking around in a regional game, you're like, man, like, this is what it's about. You can't lose in this atmosphere. And that's ultimately what we're working to build, and to see that happen. And then again, to see it happen for women's basketball. And I remember a few years back, they had the fans wrapped around the hump trying to get in for that South Carolina game. It was a big matchup. And so it's always encouraging to see it also occur for the women's sports, as well as the baseballs and footballs of the world. And the Mississippi State fan base has been huge in that, and they're going to come out and support regardless. So for us, I mean, that's kind of our goal, to continue to reach that stage and that platform, and, not be satisfied with last year, but understand that we have bigger goals, and that means we have to do more and work harder, and continue to get better. And, we know the fans will come and support as we do that, but that it takes time, and it takes that kind of continued success for us.
Yeah, taking that and building on. I mean, that sounds like you guys are doing the right things, and we're looking forward to many more series down there. So we're hoping for you. I mean, I know I'm rooting from up here, so it was just so awesome to see those fans down there last year.
It was, and they were, it really could have been, all right, well, we'll sell tickets. We'll just pack the as many people in as we can. But I thought we just went above and beyond. They brought in platforms, and there was like a food truck village out in the parking lot, and they also built a little tent village with more screens behind the stadium. Just so many things that they did to make sure it was just the ultimate experience for the fans and the student athletes that weekend.
I will second that. I had some really good cheese fries out there.
You caught the home run ball too.
No, that was Brooks.
That wasn't you? I thought it was. I knew it was one of you out there in right field.
Brooks has done everything this year: the half court shot and the catching Montelasi's home run. Yeah, he's done it all. So
yes, there's somebody out in right field. They were going crazy.
But you had mentioned early on, right, that what better place than the SEC? And when you look at it this year, right, you could just say easily with a few new coaches and a few different teams that there could be 12 teams competing for the title in conference. All right, 12 out of 13 teams definitely have a shot, including Mississippi State. What does State need to do to bring an SEC title back this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's also, I think, one of the goals, and something that, we know really we've never finished in the top half of the league, and we have to keep kind of taking those steps forward and finding ways to finish out games. I thought we had chances to take that step forward to set a record with SEC wins last year. I think if we had won maybe one more game in conference play, but I think we learned a lot of lessons, and that's kind of ultimately the way we look at our schedule. We challenged ourselves in preseason. We played the number 4 strength of schedule in the country last year, and it's probably going to be pretty close to that again this season. But for a reason that, we want to make sure that we're battle tested and ready for the SEC. And, if we do take our lumps early, have we learned lessons? And I think that's something we have to be able to do in conference play as well, is how to make adjustments, how to bounce back quicker. We have to pitch consistently. I mean, I think especially at this level, that pitching is a priority, and being able to use a staff to pitch to a game plan and play good defense. You really have to be give an all-around performance to win this league. It can't just be relying on, the home runs or relying on one strong pitcher. It's going to take all of it. You got to have a solid offense, defense, and a staff in the circle. And for us, I think we've shown we can do pretty much all of those phases. It's just doing them together and doing it consistently. And I think that's what helps rise us to that next level and to be a contender in the conference.
It's a great conference. We broke it down. It took us, hour and a half to break it down a few months ago, and we had a blast. But we're just like, literally 12 teams could win this conference. We won't say those 12 teams, so we don't want to hurt the other team's feeling. But we knew that there's a lot of teams in this conference that could win it, and it's great to see you guys moving forward, taking that step. All right, Coach. Last question here. What has been the best part about coaching versus playing, and what's been the most challenging to switch over from that role?
Oh gosh, that probably changes daily. I think the best part about it is just being able to really kind of be a part of these young women's lives, and not just during their 4 years, but after, and even a little before in the recruiting process. But understanding that, and I think that's what also can be the challenge too, but understanding that it's so much bigger than softball, that we're helping mold them for the next phase of their lives to go off into the real world, as we call it, and be successful, strong young women who can stand up for themselves when they need to be, when they feel like they might be mistreated, who can, whatever it is, be the best stay-at-home mom, the best CEO, the best coach, whatever it is they might want to be. And I think that's ultimately what I try to keep myself grounded with is, we're teaching life lessons through softball, and how can we continue to reach these young women and give them opportunities that maybe they haven't had before, or provide them with resources they might need. We kind of tell them it's the one time in your life, everybody around you their one job is to make sure you're successful. And that's on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, your mental health, your physical health, and take advantage of it. And so for me, that's where it really is worth it. When there's a breakthrough in any of those phases where a player can really figure it out, and then they realize the importance of it once they've kind of graduated. But with that is also the challenges. I think, especially this generation in this day and age, that's become more and more of a priority, making sure they have those resources, that we have, sports psychologists, athletic trainers, you really just need a full, really army of support staff to make sure that they're getting the care they need. And, when you're worried about them beyond their hitting stats or their pitching, it comes with a little bit more headaches too. And, it's a little, you're more invested in them, I think, is a big part of it. So I think they kind of work hand in hand, and it can be a challenge when, you're frustrated because they're 21 and they're making choices that just don't make sense to you. But that's, it's another chance to talk about lessons and what can we learn from this. But it does make it fun. It makes it interesting. There's never one year that's the same, and you get a, new team and a new vibe and new, challenges and success stories year after year. So it's definitely not a cut and dry, one size fits all approach. And it does take a big investment from not just the coaches, but every other support staff member that we have around them. And that's where it's been fun just to kind of see those relationships continue to build, whether it's even between, the student managers and making sure that they're getting what they need and that they're in these players' lives for long after as well. And it's just such, we say it takes a village, and our village is going to be invested, and they're going to make sure that they're doing all they can to help out the team and their success.
Building better people is what it's all about. And it sounds like you guys are doing a great job down there in Starkville. So we appreciate that. It sounds like we're excited. Folks, you got to go down and go watch a game this year. Go watch multiple games. It's going to be really exciting this year. This has been outstanding. I'm Mark Garland. Thanks to Dan Faulkner. Thanks, Coach Ricketts, for coming on. College Softball Central, we bring you the best. Thank you very much, guys.